Monday Nitro, February 12th. You defeat Hulk Hogan in Tampa with the help of Liz's shoe to the eye. Arn, I don't know if you remember this, but do you know who was sitting front row watching you pin Hulk Hogan?
President Trump?
No. George Steinbrenner. The owner of at the time of the New York Yankees, whose baseball hat you wore in your early days. How cool is that?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because at that time, he was a shaker and a player.
Mm-hmm.
Worldwide.
And I thought to myself, I remember seeing Arn back in the day sporting a Yankees hat. And now all of a sudden, he's wrestling and beating Hulk Hogan in front of the boss.
Yeah, the Yankee cap with the twang, southern twang like I got, just got immediate heat.
It was a heat magnet.
You're not a New Yorker. Who are you kidding? That was the goal. That's what it was, the end game to it. But yeah, that was pretty cool having Mr. Steinbrenner in the audience.
I was like, I had to remind you, because I'm like, maybe that was that, you know, I didn't know if that was missed or something that you just kind of didn't recall. Happens to all of us. I just realized I was at a minor league game a few years ago. Totally forgot. Rehab assignment for Pedro Martinez and saw him strike out 9 people. I didn't realize it until I went back and looked through some old pictures the other day. You just don't remember. Life happens, right? And there's little details, unless someone's there or you see a picture that reminds you of it. But man, George Steinbrenner, you win. Let's talk about how validating was it? How big was it for you, Arn, to be in a ring with Hulk Hogan, establish mainstream star power, and you get to pin him?
Well, it just wasn't done in those days. And even though it took a shoe and some powder and about 5 of us to get it done, who cares?
It happened. That's exactly right.
We had enough strength in numbers again, distractions, and to get him in a position where they would buy me catching one on him. And but I think the audience was in shock because I just wasn't positioned. If he was going to drop a fall, it was somebody that needed to be at the very top, you know, top guy. And I wasn't in that position. I was the setup guy, I guess. And, but I took it. Certainly it was a 1, 2, 3. And,
so cool.
Not many people did that to Hogan, and nobody did it 2 weeks in a row. That's for sure.
The feather, another feather in the legendary career of Double A. And then the next week, February 19th, it's a rematch. It kicks off the card, and you go at it again with Hogan. And this time by DQ after interference, you get another win. Back-to-back weeks over Hogan.
What was so nauseating about it is I started to run down on the match, which brought Randy from the opposite side. And the finish to the match was Randy slid in just ahead of me. I was on my way to get DQ'd, but he slid in doing the right thing. And when he slid in, stood up, referee DQ'd it.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, he was going to attack because Sullivan was going to come in and he was supposed to attack him, but the ref looked up and it shows Randy running in and jumping in the ring. And I think it was Nick Patrick rang the bell, and buddy, you got the win again. I thought, holy shit, 2 times in 1 month.
2, and it counts.
I'm going to ask this question because it just came in and it's the super chat. Our buddy, Instagram wrestling historian, was Hulk Hogan difficult to do business with?
Never.
Love it.
Never was. No. I wrestled him, I don't know how many times in different combinations. Was never a business issue.
I watched you intently, especially that first match working with Hulk, and I saw you selling for him, you know, get up after he knocked you down, getting up, feeding him, doing all the things. And I thought to myself, I wonder how much Hulk really enjoyed working with a professional and a technician, all where you need to be with your spots, feeding him, selling. Arn, you were just a great wrestler, and it's been fun to watch you and go back and watch your career now, getting to work with you. But seeing you work with Hogan, I'm sure Hogan, it was like a night off for Hogan to work with you.
Well, I gave him the whole match. I don't know how you get a guy over more than what I did. I gave him the entire match. I just took enough just so that I could look like I belonged in the ring with him. That's all I took. And then we had the finish, which was really rotten.
But you two did, and I'm sure Hogan was like, man, I'm working with a professional, and you're thinking I'm working with Hulk Hogan, who knows what he's doing. He's been in so many main events. It was a marriage made in heaven, heel babyface.
If I didn't get one offensive move, it's okay. It's Hulk Hogan. He's at a different level than everybody else.
Good stuff. Let's move on. February 26th, leaving the Dungeon of Doom and returning now as a third member of the Mega Powers, none other than Ed Leslie. He's reborn as the Bootyman. And he returns and he tags with Savage in that Nitro on February 26th. And he beats the three-man team of you, Flair, and Kevin Sullivan. So you three are all aligned, and it's a great main event to wrap up February 26th. And hey, listen, his pants looked very similar to Brutus Beefcake pants. At some point, then you see Kimberly making her way, because now with Johnny B. Bag on, they need something for Kimberly to do. She becomes the Booty Babe, I believe, is going to be her gimmick. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to end up there, and she's going to be with the Booty Man. But what do you think? Do you think the audience is buying the Booty Man?
Probably not. I don't even know what that means.
When I think of booty, I think of backside. So I don't know. I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, that jumps off the page. But whose are they referring to?
Well, they couldn't use Beefcake.
Kimberly's or Beefcakes?
Either one works for me. But listen, I tell you what. They had a concern over Beefcake because of the naming rights with WWF. So instead of Beefcake, we go Booty Man. I don't know. I don't know the logic, but it doesn't feel like there was a lot of time invested in there. Unfortunately, in those days, there was no Chat GPT to come up with some other suggestions. But man, we've got betrayals. We had leather straps, cage matches. We had Hogan suck chants. Arn Anderson stacking up wins over the Immortal One. And it all leads to the alliance to end Hulkamania and an uncensored match that we'll talk about the next time we're covering March 1996 when we cover that time in your career. What are your final thoughts on WCW at this point?
Well, like I said, I was there for 12 years. I was thankful to have been there for 12 years. It was it was a good company to work for if you were a guy that had been in the territory days and worked 300 plus days a year. The schedule was not intolerable. Money was guaranteed. They were finding their way along. It was just for a startup company to try to figure out the wrestling business, which is difficult. It can be difficult for it to make sense in a nonsensical industry. I was just glad to be there, and I could tell things were going to be evolving one way or the other.
You're competing against and competition now against the number one of all time in the WWF. So it's a lot of fun, and especially we've seen the writing on the wall. We've seen what happens here. We know how the company continues to evolve.